Before we can effectively respond to our self-care needs in uncertain times, it is vital we each have an understanding of how universal grief is. It impacts us all profoundly. It is also a time when our own self-care often needs to be really stepped up. But in order to do so, we have to really get to know ourselves, and then we can lovingly respond with what self-care we need. To understand grief, we need to look at what is known as the 6 losses. It could be a material loss, such as a loss of a physical object or familiar surroundings. It could be a relationship loss, the ending of opportunities to relate to a particular person in life or even in death. It could be a systemic loss. Humans usually belong to some interactional system of behaviour patterns. It could be a functional loss, such as loss of muscular or neurological body functions or general health. It could be an intrapsychic loss, such as emotionally important image of oneself, of who you thought you were inwardly, what might be. And it could be a role loss, a specific role or place in a social network, a job perhaps. Using this model, we can assist our own understanding of the nature and impact of grief, loss, and trauma experiences. Loss is a part of life. Grief is a normal reaction to loss. We would not grieve if we did not love. Before we go any further, I want to give you some tools to think about in terms of your own self-care. It is difficult for most of us to travel this difficult path alone, and all help, compassionately given, can enhance our ability to build a new life around the pain of grief. What else can we do for ourselves? Express whatever we need to, but only show the most vulnerable part of ourselves to those we trust, not to judge or to exploit our vulnerability. Keeping a journal can help some, a diary of thoughts and feelings that can give us feedback about our own progress. Use whatever form of expression is familiar to you, an expression of who you are. For example, painting, gardening, walking, working, cooking, playing sport, going to the gym, doing yoga. But most of all, be kind to yourself. We need to make sure we don't get overtired, because we regress at those times and can easily feel overwhelmed. We need just enough tiredness to make sleep easier. We also need to eat well, simple, healthy food, and to have consistent, gentle exercise, or more physically demanding, if that is your nature, that ensures we are breathing properly and using adrenaline. We need sunlight, 10 minutes each day if possible, of sunlight touching our eyelids, because this changes our biochemistry and helps us to prevent sadness becoming depression. We also need to build in change, simple changes on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis that prevent us from slipping into a rut. Change might be as simple as finding a new route to work, school, whatever, one that doesn't bring back too many painful memories. Perhaps doing something nice for yourself on the way home. As well as change, we need to build in simple things to look forward to at the end of each day, week, month. The experience of grief in response to loss is known to all human beings, regardless of age, gender, creed, or culture. Extremes of grief tend to be experienced when we lose a close and meaningful relationship through divorce, separation, estrangement, or death. We may also grieve the loss of a limb, ability, appearance, livelihood, country, home, meaningful occupation, trust, or lifestyle. Responses to all losses have many characteristics in common, but it is generally agreed that death is the most significant loss for most of us, perhaps because of its finality and confrontation with our own finiteness. Whatever the cause of loss, there is little benefit in making comparisons of worseness. Grief is a subjective experience, and most of us feel little benefit in being told there is someone worse off than ourselves. We can only feel our own pain.